Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik and this is the game War in the Pacific Admits Edition. Play by email match against Jochen. Jochen the other player, for me the Empire of Japan. Scenario 1 and still 1 day turn setup. And I also believe we will keep it for the 1 day turn. Originally the plan was after 1, 2, 3 months maybe switch into 2 days, but we both find out it's really hard to sometimes control the movement and the air activity. But yeah, it is like it is. We saw that I pick up, I think, one of the last bases in Sumatra. So only Palembang is missing, and I already sent my 25th Army headquarter and the additional forces. And here I try a night bombardment on Rangoon. More or less, because yesterday I had this air battle of Rangoon, and I was expecting, okay, maybe now there are many grounded damage airplanes on the ground, and maybe Jochen have all his fighters in daytime, and I don't want to sleep again, so I sent all my bombers in the night. But, because my bombers had no activity last turn, so they are fresh and ready. But it looks like that Jochen was at least keeping some of his fighters in night role, in night fighter duty. So I lose here nothing directly, but my bombers also cannot find the target easily, or at least they are forced to avoid the direct route and have less chance to hit something now. Yeah, more coming. So, and some are returning already. Able to damage one of the fire. But all these petty bombers have only light machine guns, so this is at the end meaningless. Not sure how many hits I must create on an airplane with a light machine gun to force it to return. But we can also see that it's very hard for these daytime fighters to act in the night hunting role. Whatever the game simulate here, it's hard to say. But it's clearly that the night fighters often not find the enemy bombers. But I also, if I'm intercepted, then the chance that I hit anything is so small. Even without interception, there's only very 5% chance to hit the target. And now it's maybe only 1%. So the same Jochen try, he bombarded me with his heavy bombers. And I only have flak. Simply, I don't really engage this kind of bombing or bomb raids. So we have here one more. I think this is now again and again the same. Up a little. I have here maybe some damage nails and Betty, so when one is killed by flak, and again I cannot create one hit on the target. And this time they also can kill some of my Bettys, so 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 gets killed. The whole operation maybe cost me 5 bombers, so that is also no option more. And for Jochen, he hit also nothing. At least no one is hitting anything. So Here's a medium-sized yeah, this is my own cargo ship, and Mark 14 plunger is here. Luckily missing. If it's now the skill of the skipper or the Mark 14 wheel function, who knows. We are in shallow water, so at least I can maybe damage the submarine. Let's see. Yeah, 3 hits is not enough. Especially because I have only light equipment. I still don't have the update or upgraded equipment. So my forces are arriving at the Cocos Islands. This is west of Java or Sumatra. The most forward base maybe the Japanese can conquer, and it's a scouting post. Not sure what you really can do with it. There's no direct shipping between India and West Australia. I think the most people will ship everything to Cape Town and from Cape Town to Perth. At least now at this stage of the war. Maybe once the Allies control all the oceans, then maybe they can also ship something directly. So Cocos Islands, the strategic value is small. It's maybe more morale. And here's one. Yeah, I think this was a small mistake. I have these ships normally unloading, but for some reason they was not docked. I maybe forgot to dock them. Once the ships are docked, they cannot be attacked by a navy surface fleet. Now this patrol gunboat or whatever you call it is able to attack my cargo ships here directly. The patrol gunboat have not much, but they have one big gun. And my patrol gunboats have only 8 centimeter guns. I mean, I have a 3-inch gun on my patrol ships, and this allied ship have 4-inch. And the difference between 3-inch and 4-inch is, it is something. That is, I mean, 8 centimeter against 100 millimeter something, or 105 millimeters. The 3-inch is maybe not enough to create damage, but a 4-inch is something. I let this play out. It's normally the game of the poor task force or the mini task forces. So this is totally meaningless. I mean, I have only some cargo ships. I'm worried more of my cargo ships than my patrol boats. It only shows everyone how much or how to use maybe a patrol gunboat of the other side. If I had here only one support destroyer, the patrol gunboat would already be defeated. But this so the Japanese patrol boats with 8 centimeter, they are really only good for anti-submarine escort, but more or less only to make sure that the submarine cannot surface and use his deck gun and use non-stop torpedoes, something like this. Patrol boats from Japan are not good enough to really hunt enemy submarines, at least not in deep water. So the value is very, very limited for this patrol boats from the Japanese side. I losing here now one cargo ship. Okay, can happen. At the same time, we hear that my patrol boat hit the mine in Port Blair. Patrol boats can also clean mines, but very slowly. And this is still the night, I think. So we have here night. No, it must be already daytime. So So we have already the morning scouting missions. So still Catalinas on patrol. Sooner or later I must get rid of this forward bases, or the last bases from the Dutch Navy and Air Force. I saw that Jochen is moving his forces on the left, the Western Army, so he bombards them. I'm hoping to create some hits, but it's a rough terrain, so not easily to hit here something. These are the Dutch bombers coming. I have only the problem that the Dutch are coming so low that my zeros are a little too high and not too less reaction time, but I can at least get rid of one of them. Oh, even two. Only damage, no kill. So these are the same Dutch medium bombers. They hit my fleet first outside of the port, and then they're making a port strike, and I lost, I think, one patrol boat and 2 cargo ships so far. I think roughly 10,000 supplies I lost to this strike. Yeah, so supplies are always the most important for me in this stage. The cargo ships, I would say, I still have more than enough. Like I can kill some more of this striking force. 5 or 6 already. And this is this Dutch bombers are very equal, very similar to maybe a T-21. No protection. Not enough hit points, no defense armament. So for my zeros, easy killing. Same like if the allies hit my Betty Snell's P-21. The problem is there are only simply too many of them. So I kill 5, or at least 5 and more damage. And still the bombers are able to create 2 bomb hits on my cargo ships in port. Well. Some more are divided to attack my... I don't know, is this my carrier directly? Oh, some cargo ship. Lucky they are missing. But my fighters are unable to dive down. This one is really coming in 100 feet, so he make really a low level attack. And then my zeros are... I have them already at 5,000 because I expected this low level attack, but... Yeah. I must maybe even fly lower. But this is risky. If you fly lower than 5,000 feet, and then Jochen is coming from 10,000 with dive bombers, and you cannot stop the dive bombers more. So... I would not go lower than 5,000 normally. Hubs, yeah. Hudson's attacking Fate. Port strike attack. But there's not really anything else. I only took the base to make sure that Jochen cannot use the base for his own activity. I don't have so far any plan to build up Fate, at least in these coming days. So the heavy bombers are coming back, and I try to dive on them, but the enemy maybe this time the Liberators have better pilots, better defense skills. Last time it was an easy kill for me. But now I also lacking the numbers. I simply have no fighter force in the air to really attack. Four zeros are not enough, and they all get damaged, and then they have to return to base. So it's impossible for me to really come close enough to attack. Always if I want to attack, I think the enemy defense fire is already forcing me to break the attack. Here, always again, break attack. Running out of ammunition. Direct hit on my, or lucky hit. And the second. But I took one of the, if I can kill one Liberator and losing 2 zeros, of course this is still nothing great, but it is still in favor, I would say, for me. It is 2 engine against 4 engines. And I can produce zeros. And this is now my own base. So I would say that if the pilots survive, I simply produce a new airship. And the Liberators not really hitting yet anything. Damage is not kill. Yeah. So many damage Liberators, but at the end only kill 2 to 1, so... And now the BE-17s are coming, and I have no zeros left. It is also just the beginning of March, so I'm missing, or I just getting the first equipment with radar. But it will need, I think, 1 or 2 weeks that I can ship them to Mabul, to Lage, and even here out to Luganville. So end of the month, maybe I have everywhere radar where I need it, and this will give me maybe additional reaction time, so I can maybe bring up more fighters in position, if there are fighters. I also don't know if radar will help the flag. Maybe not. So only one fighter. Critical hit, but still no kill. If I would now have a kill, then I would say, okay, fine, you did your duty. Yeah, all ammunition consumed. At least he was trying. So Jochen is still using his heavy bombers, and I try my best to defeat them, or keep them out of range, or at least damage enough airplanes that they are not coming back immediately the next day. So my poor patrol boat hit the mine, is now dead. But then also the problem is that these patrol boats are also a little meaningless for convoy duty. They are so slow. They have simply only a cruise speed of 2 hexes per pulse, and most of them, my cargo ships, can make 3 or 4, so it will slow down the whole convoy. So patrol boats are really patrol boats. They are not convoy duty. They are also not for surface engagement. They are only really detection, reaction time, and early warning, and nothing else. And maybe for shallow water submarine warfare. Today I make a decision and say, okay, then make a quad strike, because I have the recon information that there was 6, or I think around 6 ships was in Pago Pago, and I bring all my submarines also in the port of Pago Pago, when I was hoping that if you don't come out, my submarine attack, and if you don't come out, my air force can attack. It's not easy to hit something in the port, but I can here hit an 800 kilogram bomb hit on the destroyer. That is, I think, at least crippled, maybe even sunk. But at the end, only 2 hits on destroyers. Maybe both are heavy hits, but I lost no airplane, but also less than I was hoping for. So maybe I can try it next turn. Dutch bombers. Yeah, this time I can intercept them. 1, 2. Many Dutch pilots lost their life today, and half of the Dutch bomber forces may be wiped out. At least the bombers are here in that area around the Leopards. Still more are coming. Luckily I have also some zeros left. One dead. Second. And number 3. So again, the Flying Dutch are not more. Yeah. Now they're paying the price for the arrogance that they're attacking me without air cover and escort. And hurting my poor merchant ships. I mean, I was peaceful cargo ships without any bad sinking. They're trying only to sail the 7 seas and make business. And I thought the Dutch, they also like to make business and selling to everyone everything. I mean, once the Dutch, they're coming to Japan to make business. Now I come to the Dutch to make business. But they're taking it. Good, Cocos Island. Nothing here really. Also in Mindanao, clean up. This India core is still holding. Good. This was the 3rd March. Well, I think it was the day of the dead bombers. I lost Betty and Nels over Rangoon, and Jochen lost Dutch pilots. We will see. I mean, for me, I think it was 5 or 6. And I also lost 2 zeros at least. Let's see. So, 4th March. Air losses today, 23 allies against 14. These are 18 of Jochen's twin engine bombers, so they are really similar to Key 21, I would say. I lost my 5 Bettys over Rangoon. I also lost 4 zeros at the end, 2 direct kills and 2 ops losses, and also 3 nils. A flak and ops losses, okay. And Jochen lost 2 of his liberators, so then it's okay. So kill ratio 2 zeros for 2 liberators, 4 zeros for 2 liberators. This is okay. And also 2 Hudsons. Ops losses. And a B-17. So Jochen lost again 3 heavy bombers. And so this is okay. If I would not lose, or if we don't kill, or if I was not able to kill the Dutch and I don't lose my Bettys and Nels and I only have the heavy bombers against my zeros, if I lose 4 zeros and kill 3 heavy bombers, that is a good trade. I would always take this. Good, and ship sunk. This is a patrol boat hit the mine, so you can see, sunk by mine. And this is my small cargo ship. Nothing really special. This is... I have 100 of them maybe. Good. In China we had no activity at all, simply because I must rest my troops. And then I will march. I try to bomb these units because they are moving with mixed result. It's the terrain is really not in favor for me. In the center, Jochen is clearly moving out. I'm waiting that he has less units. I cannot attack 14 units with the little attack power I have here. So maybe if I can see here like 6 or 7, I would maybe attack. But I have simply to wait. And if we completely move out of the base and I take over the base without any fight, I would also say fine. It's it's a slow but a steady progress for me here in China. I taking Xi'an, give me already a good position to attack all of Sichuan and to threaten this line to Lenshao. If I'm able to take this one of these two bases and I can cut the Lenshao from the rest, then my Mongolian forces can attack from the north. So even if it's need 1 or 2 months, if I can take it, and once I take it, I think it's very hard for the Chinese to kick me out again. Burma is no activity. I built here some sub blockade and hope that I can that some of Jochen's cargo ships will run in my subs and maybe I can create a lucky hit on something heavy big. Oh yeah. Nothing else here. Nothing else here. So landing forces coming from south and from the west. I will bring in here more forces. They are landing here already. Here you can see this is a whole bunch of 25th Army. At the same time I bring all my stuff to Singapore and upgrade and refit everything so that I'm ready for the next operation. My cruisers in the South Pacific are still finding nothing. Oh yeah, boring. Jochen ship nothing more to Perth maybe. Oh yeah, wait. Here we had this heavy air battles. This was my supply convoy, and I had here this escort carrier, and I don't know which wing was now engaging. Maybe this one. They have 3 kills in total. This guy gets experience and this guy gets experience, so maybe they have both 1 kill. And the other wing, only 1 guy get a kill. Okay. I think there was only 3 kills in total. So maybe this has 3 pilots making these 3 kills. And here I had the other air wing. I mean, it's a part of it. These are a third of the Kaga air wing. The Kaga sunk, but the air wing of Kaga was not on the Kaga. So luckily, I mean, these are all elite pilots. At least they are very skillful. You can see average experience of 81. I mean, these are really the best of the best, you can say. Nearly everyone is elite pilot now. You can see they all making kills, so they all getting experience. Once you have 81 experience points, you are elite and you get the golden name. Whoa. Good. Tulagi, no activity. Here, no activity. Here we had some fighting. This wing lost 2 airframes. Yeah. 2 airframes was lost here today. In total we lost 4 zeros. 2, yeah, these are the 2 getting killed in the air. So these are the air-to-air losses. So, I mean, unluckily the game don't tell you what happened last turn. So you only see the total number. So, but he had 18, now 16, and I know here are 2 getting killed at least. And we created normally 1 kill, but I can see here no additional experience points, so I don't know how the game calculated. Or I have here also the 2 carriers. Maybe they intercepted the bombers, because here I can see this unit have many damaged airplanes. It can happen that this one was involved. Can also be. And here I get the green and the green. But this green we have no kill. This one have killed. So maybe this guy shoot down the bomber. Sometimes you can see it also in the operational report. But not always. And this is a little unlucky. Pilot killed in landing accident. Oh. This is my 0 pilot. But this guy earned now 3 kills. Yeah, you can read it if you want. I normally don't care this kind of reports too much. You can get information out of this, but most of this information I already get on before. Good. Yeah, Pago maybe. One last. I was sailing here around, so that I was not sure if Jochen maybe have any task force nearby I was missing, but looks not. And then I maybe make one cycle and then I can return to Luganville, or I go source, because somehow, I mean, it must be Jochen ships from West Coast, California, to Australia East Coast. And if they are not here in Pago, and if my submarines cannot find them here in this middle center, and I know they was before going to New Zealand, so they may be going more source. So maybe I will try to bomb Pago once more. It's every day I stay here longer, it's risky, because Jochen can maybe bring in back here some fighters, and then I have a problem if I run in heavy fighter cap. But I would normally think that you need at least if you take them if you fly from Nomea, they normally don't have the range, they are not zeros, so they need at least one go to Suva, and then from Suva they go to Pago, and then they need one more turn to get airlift. So I have maybe one turn left, maybe really only one more turn, then it's getting super risky. Now it's already risky. Maybe already he will bring in the his fighters this turn. So I will think if I make one more strike or not. And after this I will choose if I go back directly, or if I go here in the center, or if I go maybe source. Maybe I can make one deep dive here, but I mean I can go up to this line. This is my submarine line. Here the end of the map is a little hard to... the oil is always a problem. The fuel is running out of my carriers. You can see I had to refuel all my destroyers, so this is all left. I have now a range of 125 hexes. And I must go back to my base, so it would be stupid to run out of fuel 10 hexes away from my base. This is really dangerous. Good. No, maybe one, because last time I was talking about maybe some airframes. Maybe I talk about everything before, but I can maybe repeat this once more. This is the tracker software. I think most of people they playing this game, they're also using the tracker software. It can help you to keep the overview, and this is additional information, but most of this information you can also find in the game, so I don't use tracker so much more. It's only sometimes I come here back to see some information, but with enough experience you not really need it so much, but it's helpful if you know how to use it. And the standard question is always with the Japanese, at the beginning of the game you must already make the decision what kind of airframes you want really push. And last time I was talking about fighters. Oops, not fighter bombers. And the Nate is a purely training airplane. I would really only use it maybe the first week of the war, maximum in December. And once the December is over, you cannot use the Nate more for anything. It's really only for duty, for training. For training they are fine, why not? And this is the Oscar 1C. And then I was talking, so if I upgrade, if you play this with realistic R&D, I think also nearly no one play with non-realistic R&D, then it's really gamey, or it's very simple, let's say this. Realistic R&D is okay. I would say it's possible still to handle it. So the Oscar 1C is the standard fighter, and lacking only the armament and hit points and armor, everything. So the first upgrade is I would say meaningless. You can make no sense to really push this airframe because it will not give you anything what is important. You only get a little speed, but you lose a lot of maneuver bonus or values. Maybe I would say it's make no sense to go to this airframe. The 2B is a really maybe improvement. You can see much faster. Yeah, of course, because I mean the speed increase and you always lose maneuver bonus. Yeah, but you get here the armor, and I think this is the most important. It will help you to. It is not a protection against heavy machine guns, but light machine guns. Then I think have a very hard time to kill an airframe immediately. Roughly to say. So the 2B, I will try to push for the 2B. Then I produce the 2B. And once I have the 2B, everything else, the 3A is again, if I compare this with the 2B, speed a little more, maneuver value is getting better, okay, but still the same heavy machine gun. So I get more range. So this is normally the machine. Have good speed, have good maneuver values, and some armor. It is not bad, and this have really range. This have a range like similar to 0. Or more or less even more than a 0. Oh, yeah, because 0 have a 7 to 11. 14 also is extended, but that's okay. So, but I would still say no, I skip this one and then I go directly to the last fighter. Here you can get a little more speed. And most importantly is here you get the 20mm cannons. And they simply can penetrate armor much better. And if you hit something, you really make damage. Still only 2, but yes. This is what I do. I will go first 2B, and then immediately go to Oscar 4, and then it's over. There's nothing more coming. The other fighter is normally the Tojo, and now this you must use, because the other one you cannot produce. You can only produce this one normally. So if you compare this one with the 1C, but of course there's 1 year difference, so the Tojo is simply based on speed. This is a high speed and can also climb fast. So interceptor, not the range. And compared to the Oscars, the armament is, again, the 2 light machine guns will not do much. So you have 2 heavy machine guns here and 2 heavy machine guns here. It's very similar. If we then compare the 2B with the 2B Tojo, forget, it makes no sense to build this. You have still, you could do it. You have the 2 heavy machine guns. The 40mm cannon will never hit anything. So if you hit anything with a 40mm cannon, then you are lucky. But it's nearly impossible. So forget this airframe. I will go normally directly for this one. And you can see this is a 44 machine. This is 43. So to compare these airframes are little make not so much sense, but you can still see that the Tojo it's much faster than the Oscar, and they have now 4 heavy machine guns, so very similar to American layout, and they have also armor and more hit points, and still can really climb up very fast. So a very good interceptor. The problem is still the range is only just so it's a short range cap fighter. If I compare this then with the last Oscar, there's again 1 year difference, so you can see the Oscar is still more developed, or later war. So at the end of, if I compare these 2 airframes, I would say the Oscar is better because the speed is very similar. The Oscar is more have better maneuver values, and have now the 20mm cannons. So it is not likely you hit something, but if you hit something, you can create more the kill. And here you will hit many times, but maybe you will always only damage the enemy airframe. So, and what I was talking last time is what other options you have. You have normally only this Tojo and this Oscar. and not much more. The only other airframe is the Tony. The Tony, if I compare it with the Oscar 1C, or maybe better with the, this is maybe more, is it better, the same similar time frame. The Tojo is faster than the Tony, have more range than the Tony. The Tony is really purely only for the base and nothing more. I cannot fly out. Okay, the Tony is coming immediately with armor protection. Okay. And the armament is exactly the same. 2 light, 2 heavy machine guns. Okay. But the biggest issue is you have the service rating of 3-1. This kind of airframe is really hard to maintenance, and it needs a special engine. So you must produce this engine to produce this airframe. And this is why I think it's make no sense. Then you have all these Tony upgrades. They're still using this H60 airframe. Okay. And I think then you go to this one. They're still using the H60. The only really one that you can go is then the 100. Because this is still one upgrade path. You can still see that you can upgrade to the Tony 100. Or the Key 100, the Tony. And here you get the change to the H33. And this is the standard engine. And here you can get the 500 engine bonus much better. This is also an airframe I would say is not bad. The problem is only it is not bad. But it's a 45. So if I compare this now to the last of the Tojo, then I say okay, the Tojo is faster, more maneuver values, armor and hit points are very similar, and the firepower, okay. Here I have the 20mm cannons. Okay. But, and this is, the service rating is now 1-1. So this is the first of the Tony I would say is good. And the difference between the 100 and the 100 edition 2 is only, this one is high altitude. You can see the 20-16 compared to 17-13. So if you want to fight only up to 20,000 feet, you better buy or build this edition 1. If you want to have high altitude fight capacity, you better go for the edition 2. But the biggest issue I have still is this is all similar to the Oscar or the Zero is one upgrade path. You can upgrade this all. So you can start with Tony 1. So you can start with this one. Try to bring your R&D tools on this airframe. Once you are successful with this, you can skip all and go directly to the 100. But I still have the problem that you're starting with the airframe with February 43, so it's very hard to get the hit for your R&D tools in 42. Maybe first end of 42, you will have higher chance to make the hit and get your R&D tool ready. And then once you have this R&D tool ready, then you maybe can push the Tony 100 and get it maybe, I don't know, mid of 43, if you are lucky, or end of 43. At the same time, I have for sure this Tojo, and then, yeah, maybe the Tony is better armament and have more hit points. This Tony is better than the Tojo, but not much better. And at the same time, you maybe also can get, I would say maybe the Frank A. Hard to say. And this is called complete next generation. So there's a complete break. You can see the speed bonus for the Frank is much higher. I have here also 20mm and heavy machine guns. The service is of course high, but I have maneuver values here. So this airframe is really a step forward because it looks not like a big step forward, but 360 to 390 is a lot in air war. So And then I can also upgrade this one to the air. So the air edition gives additional, then it's 400 to 360. And so I'm not so sure. I never really try this with the Tony. Maybe it's working, maybe it's not working. I would only say don't. It only makes sense to go the key 100 and not the key 61. Simply because other engine type, too high maintenance cost, and compared to the Oscar and Tojo, it's not much better. Only a little better. And it can never catch up with the key, with the Frank. The Frank is much better. So, and I also want maybe keep people keep an eye on the key 83. Even if it's a super late airframe, I would always have at least 1 or 2 R&D tools trying to catch this fighter, and it's maybe the Japanese P-38. It is high speed, and it's a purely high altitude fighter and nothing else. It is also hard to maintenance, but it has a lot of firepower. You can maybe also use it for bomber intercepting, but only in high altitude. Don't come close, never fly under 30,000 or 31,000. You must have this high altitude, because most other fighters you can see they braking if they fly high. This one is built to fly high. If you compare it with the American fighter, all nations. I must go here. So Japanese Army fighter, US Army fighter, and if you compare it with the last Lightning, so there's no other one, oh? Yeah, this is the last Lightning. You can see the Japanese twin engine high altitude fighter is faster, really even faster, have not so much hit points. Okay, the service venting is the same, and the firepower is also very similar. So you have 2 heavy machine guns plus 30, and you have a lot of 0.5 or half-inch caliber guns. So this is maybe more based for intercepting heavy bombers, and this is maybe more based for dogfighting. And you can also see that this is a purely fighter, because you cannot load really bombs. This 50 kilo you can forget. And this one you can carry 1,000 pound bomb. So this is a fighter bomber or something if you want. But the range of this one is 13. And here you need drop tanks. But if you have drop tanks, and I think for the Allies, if you have this airframe, supplies doesn't matter, and drop tanks only cost you supplies. So then the range is the same. It's you can fly a little higher, so you can always dive on the Lightning. And you can see that this one is really built for high altitude, 14 to 10. I'm not sure if maybe other Lightnings are better in high altitude, 9, 10, maybe the early one, 10, 10, no. So keep an eye on this, but it's super late time and it's hard to get. I think maybe somewhere in summer of 44. So I don't know if how many people really enter in this game to 44. Anything else here? Yeah, you have this kind of airframes. I would always say I skip it. It's the H-42. Don't build anything what is based on H-42. Too complicated. Make no sense. They are not really better. Yeah, you have this one. This one looks so good. I mean, it's super fast. It have very good firepower. It have, for one engine airframe, a lot of hit points. It's complicated to maintenance. It is good in high altitude. It is even range. So everything is fine. But the problem is the H-44 engine. And it's 46. So how you won't ever get this airframe? So yeah. It is nice to have, but you will never have it. And there's not more. This is the jet engine. Again, you need turbojet engine. So yeah, if you're not Germany and want really have your Me 262 and put a lot of energy and resources and money inside, I would say skip it. also rocket engine, it's not working. At least for Germany, it was never working, and I think here it's also not working. Yeah, and the more choices you don't have. At least not with the army. These are army fighters, so good. So again, I will go for the last of Oscar, I will go for the last of Tojo, and I will go for Frank. And I go for Key 83. So these are 4 fighters I will go. I will not go for anything else. Yeah, and you could go for the Randy. This is not a bad airframe. It is very late again. The problem is only why I will not go for this one. It's because there's a Japanese army night fighter Randy. Oops. So if I want to build the Randy, then I go for the night fighter edition. It is more or less both late. They are the same airframe. It's really only that this one is built for night fighting, and this can carry the best radar. The problem is that this radar is really coming first in 45, I think in February of 45, before you don't have this. But you can still use them like a night fighter if it's possible to get this airframe before the radar arrives. And you can use the airframe before the radar arrives, but then you will have simply not the radar active. So in this one have 18 attack. You have here again the 30mm. They are bomber killers. I mean, I would say it's hard to hit some enemy fighter with a 30mm cannon, but bombers, that is possible. And you can see here again, this one have it's the same speed but better maneuver values. The rest is more or less all the same, but I have more firepower, I have a little more maneuver values, I have the possibility to use radar, so why not? And if it's March of 45 or October 45, it's not more the big difference. If you can get the R&D tool on one of these 2 airframes, good. Thank you all, I think this is enough. See you, take care, bye bye.